Here is one of the most famous prayers of all time. It's the prayer of St. Francis of Assisi, upon which the remainder of this program is based. Lord, make me an instrument of thy peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. Where there is sadness, joy. O divine Master, grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive, it is in pardoning that we are pardoned, it is in dying to self that we are born to eternal life. St. Francis of Assisi. I have detailed the principles involved in understanding that there is a spiritual solution to every problem. Now I would like to offer some practical applications of these principles based upon this famous prayer of St. Francis of Assisi, who lived in the 13th century. Each line provides a simple and perfect exercise to increase your energy level, thereby enabling you to experience your problems as illusions which dissolve when you bring the one power of spirit to them. It begins with becoming an instrument of peace. Consider the greatest saints who have ever walked among us. They are different from the rest of us in one unique quality. All they have to give away is peace. And what is this peace? It is the expression of the universal creative intelligence which winds its way in and through everything. I recall my friend Edgar Mitchell, the Apollo 14 commander and the sixth man to walk on the moon, describing to me how he could cover the entire Earth with his thumbnail from inside his capsule as he circled the moon. He had an epiphany in which he realized that this was an intelligent system of peace that we are all a part of, as he saw millions of heavenly objects hurtling, spinning, and orbiting in perfect unison. Within each object, this same peaceful harmony exists. The most compelling aspect to all of this is that thy peace can become yours 100% of the time whenever you make the conscious decision that this is how you're going to live. Peace is the result of retraining your mind to process life as it is, rather than as you think it should be. As simple as this sounds, this is the secret to being an instrument of God's peace. You do not seek peace by looking into the lives of others and wishing that they would change so that you could become more peaceful. Rather, you bring your peaceful countenance to the chaos you encounter, and your presence soothes the outer turmoil. How do you do this? Memorize this line of the prayer and silently repeat it. Lord, make me an instrument of thy peace. Those chaotic moments are times to remember that you will not gain your peace from anyone else, and that you choose to bring peace to every life situation you encounter. The most important moments for cultivating this awareness are when someone is argumentative or irrational, and you sense yourself falling into the pandemonium. Who are the people who seem to be able to push your buttons and send you into a frenzy? Your spouse, your children, your parents, a certain employee, your boss? I'm talking about the ones who really get to you. Anyone else might say the same thing and you're able to blissfully ignore them and even respond in your most spiritual and unconditionally loving tone saying, "Thank you for sharing." Obviously, those people do not present any threat to your being an instrument of peace. It is those button pushers, the ones who succeed in sending you into a state of frustration and turmoil with a simple look of disapproval or a frown, who are your greatest teachers. That's right, these are your guides, and they have much to teach you. The moments when you think someone else is causing the disorder and chaos that you are feeling are moments to recognize that that person is allowing you to discover that you have not yet mastered yourself. You needed a reminder that you have work to do on yourself in order to be an instrument of peace. Once again, let me remind you of a very famous line from A Course in Miracles that has always attracted me. It says, "I can choose peace rather than this." It is a terrific reminder in moments when you are not being an instrument of thy peace. Write this affirmation and have it duplicated to post in strategic places in your home, workplace, and automobile. I can choose peace rather than this. When you find yourself experiencing anguish, fear, depression, turmoil, even anger, stop and repeat this line to yourself. As you ponder these 7 words, make a concerted effort to bring thoughts of peace into your mind right in the midst of your mental anguish. Give yourself a specific period of time each day to be alone and undisturbed. Take a brisk walk, or lock your bedroom door, or leave the frantic pace of your office to go somewhere to be alone. In your precious moments of being undisturbed, say to yourself, I am letting go and letting God. What happens is that you let go of your sense of taking personal responsibility for everything and everyone around you, and in a calm way, you turn all of that over to God. Your return to the noisy world will now be with a new partner, God. Make meditation a part of your daily life. Resistance to meditation is a universal phenomenon in the Western world. I hear it every day. I'm too busy. I just can't seem to quiet my mind. It doesn't work. These excuses are nothing more than your fear of coming to know God, and therefore taming your demanding ego. For the next 60 days, give yourself a directive to practice meditation at least once, preferably twice a day. The technique that you use is totally up to you. All I can tell you is that when you practice meditation regularly, each session is like lifting the weight of your problems off of your shoulders and a feeling of having your soul nourished so that you approach everything with the accompaniment of thy peace. When people say to me, how can I possibly be at peace in a non-peaceful world? I always remind them that inner peace is just that, inner, not outer. You must come to the point where you bring your peace to everyone and everything, rather than attempting to secure it from outer experiences. Remember, you become what you think about all day long. Every time you bemoan the horrors of the world, or listen to media reports on all that is evil, or read tabloids which exploit the unpleasant facts about others' lives, you are continuing the conditioning that takes you away from becoming an instrument of peace. When you remind yourself that for every act of evil, there are 1,000 acts of kindness, you put your thoughts back on peace. When you stop someone who is relating yet another disaster story and change the tone to something more loving, you become an instrument of peace. Each day you are provided many opportunities to practice peacemaking. Just this morning, while at the mini store waiting to pay for my gasoline, the cashier was being rude to a young man who didn't understand how the $3 car wash operated. The cashier was verbally assaulting this teenager who was asking to have his money back, which the cashier was obstinately refusing. Furthermore, the teenage boy obviously did not speak English and could not understand what he was being told, let alone why he was being the victim of the cashier's abuse. As the teenager stood there bewildered, I saw an opportunity to be a peacemaker. I put my arm around the young man, walked outside with him, and showed him how to operate the machine, which allowed him to smile for the first time since I'd encountered him. Make this the day that you practice being a peacemaker. Truly, it is in giving peace that you will receive it. Make peace with yourself. When you make peace with yourself, you take a hard look at everything you have ever done, and you remind yourself that you needed all of those experiences in order to provide you with the energy to propel yourself to a higher spiritual frequency. If you are better than you used to be, that is reason enough to make peace with yourself. All the self-reproach, guilt, disappointment, self-hatred, and anger that you direct at yourself simply take you away from peace. Get back to nature, away from the fast-paced world of high technology, investment decisions, disputes, noises, and a crowded world. Nature beckons to you. Give yourself the gift of nature as often as you can. Nature gives you peace because you are in the energy field of God. Your return to nature literally opens up a whole new set of spiritual solutions to every one of those so-called problems.